What's up guys? Today we're going to be reviewing the Vancer Thrash, a claw grip focused mouse coming in from Vancer, released as a duo with the Groove. The Groove was also a claw grip kind of aimed shape, but it was more of an IntelliMouse type of large, long, low, flat shape that was released. I opted to get this one and I'm very excited to show it to you guys. Before we get into the video, I would like to mention that the Thrash was sent out to me from Vancer for me to review. However, they did not ask me to say anything and I will not let it affect my review. With that being said, let's get straight into it. On a scale 1 to 10, I would probably give the unboxing experience a nice solid 7.5. You know, nothing crazy, but they didn't do anything poor. You know, the mouse was presented to you as soon as you open the box. Here you see me checking it out. You can remove this little foam piece. There you'll see your paperwork. Here you have a little bag of goodies. You've got extra skates, some grips. Here you have the cable. And there's the dongle with the LCD display that everyone is interested in. Alright, up next, we're going to be talking about the dongle that comes with the mouse. This is going to be what a lot of you guys are interested in because it actually has a live display which shows you the percentage of your battery, the DPI you're on, what polling rate you're on, your liftoff distance, and different things like that. So as I said, the Thrash was released as a duo with the Groove, and it is obvious that with this duo, the focus was for two things: performance and the shapes. They were both very unique shapes and they were both extremely performance oriented, only being released in black colorways. With that being said, the batch 1 of the Thrash has a extremely well-known and particular issue. There's side creak. The entire first batch has this, however the second batch is fixed. So if you do opt to buy one, check in with the retailer and make sure that you're getting the second batch that has this issue fixed. Let's talk about one of the two things that they were aiming for, and that's the shape. To cover the shape, I would like to first open with how important the shape is to this mouse, because that's one of the primary focuses and it's one of the primary high points of the mouse. The shape is a very unique design and it's also very good. It's very practical for claw users. I have heard people compare this to the U2. Looking at the ELO shapes, it does seem similar. I don't personally own a U2, but the best way to describe it, in my opinion, is it's a claw shape, but the hump is not perfectly centered, but it's not very far set back. It's not as far back as an XM1 or a Lamzu or anything like that, like a Wiseowl Cloud. It's not that far back. Using this mouse on Apex and also testing it within Kovacs, I noticed that with my grip playing 131 with 20 by 10 centimeter hands, that I was able to have an aggressive claw. But I honestly think that something like this that is more around the size of an HTS is something that people with smaller hands could also appreciate with a relaxed claw grip. I don't know if this is something you're going to want to look at as like a GPW mini, like if you're trying to palm it. Maybe that's something you could look at it as if you have very small hands, but I wouldn't recommend it for fingertip or anything like that. In conclusion, I think it's a well-rounded claw shape for a variety of hand sizes. I think it's a great mouse to step away from more generic shapes. So before we go into the performance, let's just go over the specs. The clicks are going to be Huano Blue Shell pink dots. For the scroll wheel, it has a TTC encoder and it's a little bit more on the tactile side, but it's nothing hard to scroll. I didn't have any issues via hopping in game on Apex. It is also paired with a 300 milliamp hour battery. I didn't have any issues with it, you know, nothing insane, but nothing poor. I ran this on 1K a lot and it lasted me a long time, which is something you hope to expect. Considering this has a 3395 sensor, so I know a lot of you guys will be running this at 4K. One issue I did have that I would like to mention is I seem to, with each Vancer mouse I've had, there's been a little bit of DPI deviation. So if you're ever playing and you kind of feel like your sense feels a little bit fast or a little bit slow, it's probably not you. It probably is a little bit off, but you can kind of just adjust your sense to the feeling. It's nothing too bad. Now, before we close this video out, I would like to mention one issue that I did have is not only with the release of the first batch having some creaking issues, but the software that you use to actually customize your preferences took about a month to be released on the website, along with drivers to fix an issue I had where my mouse would shut down while I was playing. I would like to see things like this being polished up before releases. Hopefully they could do something where maybe reviewers get sent these out early, because I know it's hard to find these things where it has to be tested on multiple different scenarios and PCs, but it would be nice that like if something like that could be fixed before a release, because it was kind of frustrating, like not knowing why my mouse was like shutting off and stuff. However, that is fixed now, so if you guys that end up buying this mouse, just know, update your firmware and you should be fine. In conclusion, the thing that I would say the most about this mouse is it's a big step up from previous Vancer mice that I've tried. You know, it's actually competing with what I hope to see as a goal of most of the companies out there, which is unique shapes with just good performance, which is honestly what they came here for. If you want something that's going to be a little bit more narrow and not too aggressively on the back hump side, but you still want it to be claw grip focused with great performance, you know, it's got a great coating and the 4K and all those different things, then this is probably a mouse for you. Again, I would like to see certain things cleaned up, but besides that, if this is like their end game, if they can have this coming off from release, that's going to be a huge step for Vancer and a great conclusion for them. I'll see you guys in the next video. Hope you guys have a good one. Peace.